weird stuff going on my end too, just so you know. It's like that recording and transcribing is scrolling and whatever. It looks a little funky over here too, just so you know.
Okay, how odd. We're going to continue. Okay. Thank you for that introduction, Christina. And yeah, Mark got kicked out. Sorry, Mark. Hopefully you can rejoin. But I also just wanted to bring to people's attention a few campaigns that we're working on at Clean Virginia Waterways. The first and most exciting is the foam phase out work group. We have a digital toolkit for restaurants and food industry businesses to use to promote their foam-free initiatives. So there are digital templates to raise awareness that these businesses have gone foam-free in the attempt to attract customers with similar values and to promote their sustainability initiatives. In order to move away from foam, though, we do provide resources in that toolkit as well on how to do that. So there's a list of recommended compostable products. There's a list of where to buy those products and the prices. And so we're really trying to get this out to businesses that we have partnerships with and that we can reach. So the links to that are in the agenda, which I will share in the chat again. Please feel free to look at this, look at the links, the toolkit, and share widely with all of your partners and business partners. And then Clean Virginia Waterways also has some foam-free pledge stickers that you can remind yourself or remind the businesses to avoid and not use foam when possible. Those are also available on our website and linked in the agenda. The foam-free kits and foam-free pledge stickers links lead to the same webpage on Clean Virginia Waterways website, which lists all of the foam phase-out resources that we've compiled so far. So there are order forms for the stickers, for the foam-free kits, and information about the foam ban coming up in July, how we got there, and any other question you might think of. Or if there's a question you think of that isn't answered, reach out to me at joseph@cleanvirginiawaterways.org, and we can make sure that that does get on the website. We want to make sure this is a centralized hub for you to find out what's going on with the foam ban and how you can help. We also have the plastic bag subgroup from the VP3N. This is a group that meets monthly to talk about ways to establish a plastic bag fee in your city or county. Right now, the conversations are geared more towards the state legislature as the General Assembly is happening right now. There's talks about advocating for more of a plastic bag ban or ban option. So if you're interested in learning more about plastic bag campaigns across the state, feel free to join that one as well. And again, email me, joseph@cleanvirginiawaterways.org for any information on those two groups. I also wanted to bring to people's attention our new feature in the VP3N newsletter. So in January, or rather at the very bottom of the newsletter, which I'm putting as a link in the chat, it used to be a plastic pollution reduction tip of the month, just something that you could share out to your network or use for yourself. But we realized that most of the VP3N audience are people already involved in this space and don't really need to hear these plastic reduction tips. So we're changing it more to a plastic messaging of the month, where we're going to promote different social media posts that you can put on your blog portion of your website or on your socials as a way to get the same standardized message about how to reduce plastic pollution out to our own audiences. So this month's is a graphic about the foam ban that came from Keep Middlesex Beautiful, and it's been adapted on Clean Virginia Waterways end to promote the foam-free phase-out and toolkit that we have. So there's wording for the post in the newsletter, and you can grab that image right from there and put it on your own socials. So if you have anything that you would like to share in future newsletters, feel free to send it my way, and we can get it included as a monthly messaging. If you do decide to use that on your socials, please feel free to tag Clean Virginia Waterways as well, and we will repost that and help cross-promote. And a few more people have joined, so I'm just going to put the link to the agenda in the chat once more, because there's a lot of good links in there, so please feel free to use those. And I want to go back to the first point, which was if there's anyone new to this group or anyone who'd like to introduce themselves, please feel free to come off mute and say hi. I'll give it the standard 10-second awkward pause. All right, if anyone would like to come off mute and talk about something exciting happening in your organization, feel free to do that. We'd love to hear about your member updates. Anything fun happening in Virginia?
Well, anything fun happening? Did you ask about in Virginia, in the Prince Edward County? There's a lot of kids who are learning about water pollution and how it gets there, and they're taking pledges to not litter anymore.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. Is that like a new part of the curriculum or something extra?
No, I'm getting into a lot more classrooms. So we do a watershed model, which is called the Enviroscape. And then in the end, I say, well, what can you do out of all of these non-point source pollutions? What can you do? And they realize I cannot litter. And I say, you can also clean up. And they take a pledge to do those things. So hopefully they'll stick with it.
That's awesome. We love the Enviroscape. That's what we have, right, Christina, Emily?
It is great. It is such a good visual of how it all works. They really have no idea until they see it. And
Yeah,
teachers don't know either. I think training the trainer is the next step.
good news there, Kelly. We do have some actions about train the trainers written into the next Virginia Marine Debris Reduction Plan.
Excellent.
Thanks so much for sharing. It's really exciting. Oh, Christy, go ahead.
Yeah. This is Christy with Keep Virginia Beautiful. It's kind of a good segue. We're planning our next Green Grants program, and we have funded those Enviroscapes for organizations. So keep that in mind for your projects coming up. We're also hoping to have a new category specifically for environmental education. So we're making plans for that. Those applications come open in the spring, and then we announce grants in June. And we're also trying to plan for our next Greatest Virginia Green Up campaign. Runs first day of spring to first day of summer. Part of Keep America Beautiful's Greatest American Cleanup ahead of America's 250th birthday. So I hope we have some exciting ideas to drive engagement and involvement and partners. So stay tuned. We're working on it as we speak. And our Save ambassadors are doing well. We have 25 high school juniors and seniors participating in our programs, the second full year of the program. It's our newest, and we're always looking for ways to promote that and do more with it. In fact, I was just thinking I should invite you all, VPN, to be a speaker. We have monthly meetings with them and have speakers every month. So I might probably be reaching out to you, Joseph. I was like, oh, you guys would be a shoo-in.
That's awesome.
To be a Save speaker when we have our virtual meetings. So think about ways, to make those connections. So thanks for everything you do.
Well, thank you. That's really exciting. And yeah, definitely reach out anytime. If you'd also like to, as you get the applications out for those mini grants and would like to, if you want that shared widely, we can put it in a newsletter as well. So
perfect.
Send information my way.
Yep. We will make plans to do that. Thanks.
All right. Any other updates? All right, so without further ado, I'd like to introduce our speaker for this month, Julie Chapman. So I'd like to introduce Julie from the Alexandria Dog Walk. Julie's social entrepreneurial passion and love for dogs, the environment, and community building led to the inspiration behind ALX Dog Walk. She spent her career building do-good businesses, including a marketing and communications consulting firm that promoted philanthropy, a company that helped engage kids in community service, and now the ALX Dog Walk. She received her master's in public communication, nonprofit management from American University, and she frequently speaks and teaches on the topic of collaborations between the public, private, and nonprofit sectors to advance social causes. As she likes to say, bark on. Julie, feel free to add anything to that, and we cannot wait to hear about the ALX Dog Walk. You just gotta unmute yourself, sorry.
Thank you so much. And I promise to explain the bark on in just a minute. But I'm so glad to be here with everybody. And I love talking about all things philanthropy and the topic of plastic pollution. and sustainability in general is so top of mind for me now. Funny enough, in my career, I never got into the environmental world. I worked on what felt like every other cause, but it just didn't take me down this path until 5 years ago when I came down to Alexandria, Virginia, and spent a lot of time on the water and started noticing all the plastic pollution just constantly flowing up and down, up and down. And I just couldn't imagine that I hadn't paid attention to the issue. We all have stories of how we got to the place we're at, and I wish I could have a moment to hear everybody's stories, but perhaps another time. But that's how I got hooked on the topic. The thing that fascinated me about this whole realization, and I'm embarrassed to share that I had this realization at this point in my life, is when I went onto the internet to research it, how the industry had pushed it down so deep into the internet, and the articles that coming up for me were so confusing. You know, there's just tons of greenwashing out there. So I couldn't get a grip on what was accurate and what really wasn't accurate until I started connecting with a lot of organizations like yours. So just, you know, hats off to you, to the work that you're doing out there, because it's really helping people like me who are coming into the space for the first time feel like I have legs to stand on and I have people I can trust. I have a lot of organizations around me in Alexandria that I've been tapping into. And I've been getting out in the community for 5 years doing educational exhibits about swapping out plastic items for, you know, alternative items. And at one of those such events, Joseph and friends were at my table. And whenever I meet somebody who is in the field of plastic pollution and speaks the same language as I'm speaking, I get very excited, because I think we're far and few between. In my presentation, I wanted to kind of lay out a little bit for you, not only my story of what led me here, but also the framework that I've applied to what I'm doing here in Alexandria. And it's the same exact framework I've actually applied to all social marketing or cause marketing campaigns that I've done my entire career. Funny enough, it just keeps working. And previously in my career, when I had an ad agency for 10 years, it was called Promoting Public Causes. And we did international campaigns for the World Health Organization and the Pan American Health Organization. And then we launched a lot of domestic campaigns here. You know, a national campaign for Fannie Mae around the topic of osteoporosis. In Latin America, it was around the topic of domestic violence prevention and heart disease prevention and so forth. And we took a model that when we went into a new market, because we did not have contacts, you know, I didn't know friends, I didn't know companies in Mexico City, you know, in here in the States, I didn't have contacts around the issue of osteoporosis. 5 years ago, when I came into Alexandria, I knew one person, my real estate agent. And I knew nothing about the topic other than what I had been researching to that point. So starting with a fresh slate, I want to share with you the framework that I used to get to where we are today. And I hope out of this conversation, many of you are probably well along the path of this framework I'm sharing, or perhaps you just use a different model. But what I hope comes out from this conversation are creative ideas for you that you might be able to apply one or two of the ways that we've approached it, and I've approached it historically, to the things that you're doing. And at any point in this conversation, Joseph has been kind enough to oversee the chat. And please just stop me where I'm at and ask questions to explore, you know, perhaps one angle or another that have led us to make certain strategic decisions that we've made over these 5 years. So without further ado, I'm going to screen share, and I'm going to hope that this works. All right, we're still together, aren't we?
Yeah, we're just seeing the mirror of the Google Meet.
Okay, I'm going to drop down and I'm going to see if I can just pull this document up right here. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Okay, so So when I came to, I'm gonna use this example for what we did here, and then I want to, after we go through this framework conversation, I want to take you specifically to our website, and I think it'll all come together for you. But historically speaking, and what we did with the ALX Dog Walk, first we created a brand identity, and so
Julie, can I interrupt for a second?
of course.
Can you just click on the PDF so it comes forward so we can see it?
Of course. Yep. Sorry about that.
Much better. Thank you.
Yep. There you go. So let me just back up a second. So the Alexandria Dog Walk and Sustainability Festival, we're a 501c3. We've created a brand image around a 2K dog walk. And the reason that we did that was after I began researching all the different angles of the plastic pollution problem and why I had not really paid attention for such a long time to this topic. I was feeling that personally, I had felt overwhelmed by it, and I shut down, I think, thinking about it. And so my inspiration came from asking the question, what voice could I bring to the table? Because I believe that all kinds of voices are needed. Some people respond to fear messages. Some people respond to lobbying appeals. In this case, I felt like a fun message could be brought to the table, so that if you're looking at the social marketing spectrum and you're starting at the very smallest place on that arch of educating people, we're looking to come in through a fun event and capture your attention about plastic pollution, sustainability, and then hopefully work our way up to the point that you actually change your behavior and adopt new habits. And so we created an entire event, a dog walk event, with the explicit mission of gathering a group of people together to start paying attention and going out into the world and talking about it. So when they walked into their kitchen at night and they used their plastic wrap, they would think, oh my gosh, this is terrible. You know, now what should I do? And we wanted to back people up with educational information, ideas, and so forth about then making that change from that point forward. So that was the sort of impetus of how we came up with this idea of a dog walk. And I know many of you could probably do great dog walks in your cities too, and your small towns. It's such a popular topic. I don't know if you know in Alexandria or the district, Maryland, Virginia area, but we sit right at the intersection. And there, I think in Alexandria, there's like a dog for every 4 people. It's pretty extraordinary. So it is something that really captures people's attention for that reason. And it's also, when you link a cause with something emotional with folks, it really does capture their attention and get under their skin a little more than having to start sort of very cold with the topic. So once we figured out that that was the model of our cause that we were going to use, we branded it. We contacted an agency and we asked them if they could create a logo for us pro bono. We created some simple messaging, and then we used this model. And almost in every instance, whether it's local, national, international, when we have had to approach creating campaigns, we didn't have contacts. And so starting cold, and I know we all can relate to that, right? So the very first thing that we would always do is contact the media. So in the case of the dog walk, what that looked like for us was we contacted Chuck Bell, who was the meteorologist for NBC in Washington. And he's known for being a huge environmentalist, a huge dog lover. So we contacted him at the same time that we contacted the NBC News director. And we said, listen, could you be a quid pro quo sponsor of ours? In other words, we will give you top dog billing sponsorship. That's what we call our top level sponsors, top dog. And Chuck, could you MC the event for us? So you'll be our lead sponsor, and can you MC the event for us? And they agreed after a bit of time. And then we went to a local paper here in Alexandria, the Zebra Press, and we did the same thing. And then we had a conversation with WTOP News, which is a big news outlet in the region. And they do the same thing, except in their case, they produce 10, 30, 60-second public service announcements for us. And so with our media component, we only set up quid pro quo relationships with them. So I never asked them for money. I just asked them for their resource. of creating awareness for us. So the whole model that you see here is based on just really linking and leveraging with these different players. Let me continue around the star. So the retailer, again, with the retailer, we've always created a quid pro quo relationship with them, because what we really want from them is not only their educational ability, because they can put information in their store bags, print information on store bags at times, but most importantly is they can open relationships with companies who are vying to sell through the retailer and who are vying for shelf space. So awareness building and access to their vendors is the strategic reasons that we connect with the retail outlets. So in the case of the dog walk, we connect with the dog park store, which is a big retailer on the Main Street, King Street in Alexandria, and other dog retailers too. But and we're currently planning a cause marketing promotion for the month of April, in which they are reaching out to their vendors on our behalf and trying to recruit them in. And it's going to be titled Raise a Paw for Sustainability. So again, just trying to access their vendors. So if you move along to the nonprofit prong of this star, what we've done in the case of the dog walk and these various campaigns is figure out what organizations related to the cause can we pull in to, again, link and leverage, extend our reach. And in Alexandria, we have pulled in this year the Animal Welfare League of Alexandria, which is an 80-year-old, I'm going to use the word institution because it's so revered in our city, and it is, I think, it's the second oldest nonprofit in our city. And they have huge connections everywhere. And this year they're partnering with us on our cause. So I don't think I need to go into depth about how they're going to be able to, raise an even bigger spotlight, put a bigger spotlight on what we're trying to achieve. We also every year have tried to build new things into our event. So we look at our event as a platform, a community platform. And we never stayed with the idea that it was just a 2K walk. Every year we looked to add something to it that would help us to open up new audiences and bring new people into the fold that maybe perhaps otherwise wouldn't be. So for example, last year we created a plastic art show competition. And with the funds that we raised, we allocated 3 large cash prizes, $1,000, $750, and $500. And we did that because we didn't want craft projects coming in. Not that we don't love craft projects, but we wanted this to be a serious art competition that would grow over time and really take on a life of its own and attract new sponsors and open up the arts community. Art activism is such a powerful communication tool. And it just brought in a whole new group of people. So this year, after having a successful pilot of that initiative last year at the walk and showcasing everybody's artwork at the walk, this year we're partnering with a couple nonprofits around that particular component of the walk, the Art League, which is also extraordinarily revered in Alexandria and very large, and the Alexandria Arts Alliance, whose members are all the arts organizations, not only in Alexandria, but in the DMV, the District, Maryland, and Virginia area. So I think I could provide other examples of initiatives that we have created around our 2K dog walk. I'm not going to go into all of them, but maybe one or two others. We brought in the Alexandria Symphony and the Alexandria Singers. And you might be asking, why on earth did we do that? It's because what they do is on our walk route, you go down Union Street and they go back along the river, the river banks. We call it the waterfront walk, and it goes right back to the park where this huge celebration happens. And so we asked those two musical groups to bring out different quartets and different groups along the route and surprise people and entertain them. So the singers are on the steps of a restaurant right on the pier, and they bring out 40 singers, and it's actually really remarkable. And the Alexandria Symphony again, a nonprofit with huge reach, reaching a totally different audience. They had probably last year, we piloted, again, this component last year also, 5 to 7 different groups all up and down the waterfront walk. So the walkers were surprised. They were delighted to see these kind of performances. It was completely unexpected. And everybody's coming back again to do it this year. We had kids groups. The symphony brought out kids groups. So we were reaching those families. So I think you get the picture of what we're trying to achieve with just this little idea of a dog walk. The last example I want to share with you is another really revered nonprofit in Alexandria is called Act for Alexandria. And they are the largest community foundation. They have 160-ish members, nonprofit members. And we set up a specific zone very intentionally in the park, and we call it the Spring to Action Nonprofit Village. They have a program, a fundraising program that's called Spring to Action. But the reason that we did this is because here you have, we allow 30 nonprofits to come in. We hope to allow more, but we're trying to just grow very patiently and very methodically, step by step. I should say in the last 5 years, we had 2,000 walkers come last year, 2,000 dogs. So it was fabulous and it was fun. But we're happy to have the Animal Welfare League under our wings this year to help take it to the next level of growth. But we asked the Act for Alexandria team to open it up to their members. The first 30 who register may come in. But our challenge to them is you can come into our park space and enjoy all this fantastic attention, but you absolutely must host a plastic-free table. And so we're challenging them to learn about not bringing out all this plastic tchotchke stuff that we all know can't go through the recycling machines, and to consider other things that they can utilize to connect with the audiences in our community. And so they've looked at it as a bit of a fun challenge, right? And we've created an event toolkit for them to use that has lots of ideas in it. So that's, when you look at the STAR model, that's what we mean by nonprofits. Organizations, and even if it's just one, we started small that first year. We didn't have Act for Alexandria. That was an idea in year number 2 or 3. I think when you come into a new market or when you start a new program and you start building alliances like this, patience is so crucial. I know our tendency is to want to get out there and raise the money and make it happen and grow really fast, but there's a lot of relationship building that must happen. And in our case, I would say by year 4, we had established enough trust in the community about what we were trying to achieve and the way in which we were going about it. It's just taken off, like a wildfire at this point. But it's a game of patience and strategy, and just methodically partnering in the right way, building in the right components to whatever it is you're doing, never letting that program sit and stay the same. I hate to use the analogy of, we're all so much like a business. But in the end, if I were to take my tax exemption away, if I just stayed with the 2K walk, I would have never grown the way we've grown. I would have never had the nonprofit alliances and opened up new audiences, or had this retail promotion, this Earth Month, that opened up those vendor relationships and so forth. So here's the real important piece of this. Oh, and the government agencies over to the left of that star. This is pretty simple. We formed a relationship with the city of Alexandria. We're part of their Earth Month programming. They have us on the city website as one of the activities that you can participate in. We've stayed very close to the government agencies. We've helped them with their business program that they've just launched, really just trying to, again, link and leverage. And they see it that way too. They understand what we're trying to do. We're trying to keep it, the mission front and center in Alexandria. And so we work very, very closely together. All of this is to say, when you are able to connect government agencies, media, retailer, nonprofits, and you're able to show what these relationships look like in your proposal to companies, which is that last prong to discuss, I'm then able to approach a potential sponsor and say, WTOP is providing $100,000 worth of public service time. They've produced these public service announcements that we're using. The Zebra Press is going to give us 2 full-page ads in their local newspaper in March and April, and they're going to feature your logo, and that's valued at blank. NBC News is Chuck Bell's going to get on the news in the morning for 4 weeks before the event, and he's going to tell you it's a great day for a dog walk at the ALX Dog Walk. Then I'm going to go around to the retail and I'm going to say to the companies, if you want to participate in this cause promotion during Earth Month, you have the opportunity to do that. And so you see what's happening. By the time I make my corporate pitch, I have so much under my belt that it's not just directly going to a company and saying, oh, I've got this great program, will you support it? I'm going with real relationships and real leverage. Because in the end, they want to stretch their dollars as far as possible too. So this is how I have always approached everything we've done, and starting from scratch, methodically built relationships around this STAR model. And I think this is probably a good place to break before we go to the website, and just see if there's any questions. I've just given you a ton of information, so let me just take a pause and see if there's some questions out there about it.
And feel free to come off mute or put any questions in the chat.
Yes, I have a question. I'm trying to look for my hand to be raised, but I can't find the little thing. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm sorry.
All yours, Karen. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Thank you. I didn't get your name because I was out of the room for a second. Fascinating.
It's Julie. It's Julie.
Julie. Hey, Julie. I grew up in the Washington area too. I've kind of lived all over the country. I'm in Fredericksburg now. Very interesting. And so I just wanted to clarify, this is fascinating. I love this. It gives all of us nonprofits, you know, some fodder and some goals moving forward, depending on how big we want to get. So you said you did this dog walk big event in Old Town Alexandria on the waterfront, correct? And you just came out of your first year of doing that. Is that what you said?
We're actually celebrating our 5th year this April.
Oh, 5th year. Gosh, that is so impressive. So you have nonprofits come and participate. They obviously buy a booth and what have you. And are you saying there's room for more nonprofits every year, or are you full?
Yeah. So you'll see this when I switch over to our website. We're not full. And this is why. So the Spring to Action Nonprofit Village is designated for members of the community foundation called Act for Alexandria. And there's 30 in that zone. However, we have a big sustainability festival. And we have up to 40 organizations, public, private, nonprofit organizations that can host tables for $50 in that zone. And we provide the table and the 2 chairs and the setup fee. And we ask everybody just to be sure you bring your tent with weights. Yeah. And we're a rain or shine event because we say dogs love to walk in the rain. But so we are a rain or shine event. And we've had kind of, iffy weather a few years, but it's shocking that dog walkers, dog lovers, they come out in rain or shine is what I've learned.
Yeah.
So that's one zone for you. And if you're an artist, you can participate in our plastic art show, and we're receiving up to 30 artists too.
And what month of the year is that again? April?
Yeah, it's April this year. It's on April 18th.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you, Julie.
Yeah, no problem. And just FYI, for you people who may not be early birds, we are an early event, and people do come out for early events. We've learned too. So if you're choosing to participate in one of our, plastic art shows, sustainability festival, or just come walk, the tables and tents are set up between 6 and 7. The walkers begin checking in at 7, and the event goes until 11 o'clock. So the walk itself starts promptly at 8:15. Chuck MCs, the mayor speaks, And then the DJ at 8:15 starts that walk because we have 2,000 people who have to get down Union Street before the businesses start unloading their deliveries.
Yeah. Oh, fun. Okay. Thank you so much. That's
Yeah, and I
wonderful.
should also tell you all that this is kind of a crazy component, so hang with me on this. We do a dog show every year as part of the event, and Chuck usually MCs it. But this year, Monty Durham, who is formerly the host of Say Yes to the Dress, he's just launched a bridal collection of these last few years, and he is going to be hosting and MCing our dog show. And this year, we're giving a nod to his brand new bridal collection, and the theme is "Bring your dog dressed up in bridal fashion." So it's going to be crazy out there, I have a feeling. But it could be a guest, a flower girl, a bride, a groom, whatever you want. And we'll have a photo station set up for them and so forth. But you get the picture, the spirit of the event. We tell people when you come to the dog walk, the whole essence of the event is modeled in fun. So we say to people, we'll give the first 500 people a free cup of coffee being delivered by the Hypergoat coffee roaster who ethically sources their coffee. However, you have to bring your own cup. That's the deal. We don't provide 3.5-ounce bottles of water. You have to bring your own cup of water. Now we have emergency stashes set away. We have emergency bamboo cups under the table in case you have a coffee drinker who's just going to go nuts if they don't get their coffee. But people really come in the spirit of the event that it is. And they kind of giggle and they like it. They like the challenge of it. So we really we only make canvas banners. We reuse our signs. We just put like new numbers, little sticker numbers or whatever on, or use our markers. We change it up. We really are trying to squeeze out every messaging we can from this event.
Christy, go ahead.
Thanks. Well, so this is really fascinating for us because we partner with the Richmond SPCA. We've done that for about like three years now. We do a pickup with pups, clean up with them. But then last year, for the first time, we partnered with them with their dog jog and annual block party and did a cleanup with them before their event. So they're a good partner of ours, and we're getting ready to talk about doing this event again with them. So I'm curious if I love all of the things that you're doing, and it's a great time for us because we're getting ready to talk to them. And if there are things we can incorporate, I don't know if you have like a one-pager cheat sheet of all the ways that you incorporate sustainability into your event, or just something that I could share with them as we start to plan our partnership with them this year. And then I'll just raise one thing that we did with them last year that they really liked. We added TerraCycle recycling boxes for pet supplies. We gave them
fantastic.
A couple of boxes, and so we kind of incorporated that in for sustainability and had it showcased at their dog walk and block party. But the other thing that we were thinking about doing this year, I'm curious if you have any experience with this, is we'd like to, and I don't know if it's the best idea, but we thought it would be really cute to try to get a sponsor and do dog what do you call them, the little bandanas.
Mm-hmm.
That would
No, I'll tell you, let me speak on both of those things. And first of all, please tell them to visit our website. They will get, but here's the funny thing about that. Before I started the ALX Dog Walk, I actually researched, if I'm thinking about the same walk, I researched a really big dog walk in Richmond.
It's pretty big. It's like thousands of people.
Hey, no, I contacted them and said,
"Oh,
hey,
cool. Okay, so you've already
well, no. I contacted somebody was kind enough to pick up the phone and talk to me. I said, I have this kind of bizarre idea up here in Alexandria. Can you just explain to me, like, how is it that you have thousands of dogs at an event? I just did not really get it, but they were so kind and they gave me so much information to think about. So that's so funny, full circle moment here. But please tell them to go to our website. Nothing is proprietary. These are all great ideas that we've done. We've learned the hard way and the easy way, just like they have done. If somebody wants to reach out and call me, if you'd like to call me after this, don't hesitate to do that. I mean, I think we're all in this for the same reasons, right? We're just trying to do good works. So no doubt, I'm here for anybody on this phone call. If you'd like to just explore this kind of a model for a dog walk, or perhaps you have something else you're working on and you just want to talk it through a little bit, don't hesitate to reach out. I love doing this. I've been teaching it for a long time and experienced a lot of things in different ways. So, but what I want to say to you about the TerraCycle, we didn't do TerraCycle, which I love TerraCycle, but we do engage one of our sponsors to do the composting of our event. And so they set up 3 bins to compost the dog waste and the this and the that. And it's that in and of itself has been an amazing educational component for us too. The only thing I'll say, if you do choose to do that, is we didn't properly last year when they first started label the dog waste bin correctly. And so dog waste ended up in all of the bins, and it was a bit of they sorted through it all, God love them, but it was a little teeny bit of a nightmare for them. But there's just every single aspect of this event we just try to have some fun with or learn from.
Oh, very cool. Well, we've really enjoyed our partnership with the Richmond SPCA, and it's been the one before that we do before their dog jog is just picking up litter along the route. So when they have their dog jog, everything's clean and tidy for all the dogs. But the other one we do with them, the pick up with pups, where they bring their adoptable dogs out and walk the route, and we have folks picking up litter, is like one of the most popular events that we have. And we stole the idea from an affiliate in North Carolina that did it. And we just talked to the Charlottesville SPCA, and we were like, you want to try to sort of extrapolate it out. So for any litter groups on here, it's been a win for us, and it's been a really great partnership. And for us, the SPCA has such great followers. They've done reels and they've gone on the news and talked about it. So we've really benefited from their having social media people and staff that are very media focused. So it's been a nice win for us in that regard too. We don't have all that expertise that they do. And
that's how we feel. That's how we feel about the Animal Welfare League of Alexandria. They get 1 million hits to their website every month. We're a voluntary nonprofit. I don't think we get 1 million hits to our website yet. The other thing I'll say too is that the Animal Welfare League just created a team-based registration this year. We're piloting this. I've never done this before with the dog walk, so I'm really curious to see what happens with this. And I'm happy to share on this as well. But somebody mentioned earlier, before we all started talking, that they were receiving pledges from the young folks not to litter, or having them make pledges rather, not to litter. And in the dog walk, we have various nonprofit groups who lead our walk. For example, the Girl Scouts dressed up as pollinators last year, and they're going to do it again this year, and they lead the walk. And they actually created a ALX Dog Walk badge. They created this Girl Scout badge of a butterfly, and our logo is in one corner, and it's a girl walking with the wings. And as soon as I heard you all talk about, getting young people to make pledges, I couldn't help but think about, obviously, the Girl Scouts. And I wonder if that would be kind of an interesting thing for them to take a pledge about littering, the ones that we're engaged with. I'm sure people have done it all over the United States. There's no new ideas, right? But anyways, just to let you know that was also kind of a fun aspect of the event last year.
Thanks, Julie. Thanks, Christy. We had one more thing in the chat. It's a fun suggestion from Christina. She says, bridal wear made from trash or trashin'.
There you go. You should bring your dog to the dog walk and do that.
I would love to, Julie. Thank you so much. This talk has really been so fun. My dog is 16, and his longest walks usually happen in a stroller at this point. And I actually invited my sister onto this meeting, who lives in Alexandria. So I have to figure out how to be in 2 places at once on the 18th. Because I would love to come up and check this out. There she is. It's my sister, everybody. I'm curious, when you're planning this, do you start so you have the dog walk in April, are you planning for the next year in May, or how long, what kind of time frame are we looking at here?
So we have
how big is your team?
Well, we're all volunteers. I'm a volunteer. They're all volunteers. I have 50 volunteers. On the day of the event, there's usually more that come out. Everybody starts asking their friends, oh my gosh, we need help with this or that. But we're very organized in our structure. So we have a committee structure, and we know exactly how many people will be in the main tent, how many people will be at the registration table, and how many people. And so since we're in our 5th year, there really is a rhythm. And lucky for us, most of our volunteers have come over really year after year. And we just map out a schedule. It's not a full-time job, but because I'm at the helm of this ship, I have to start methodically making sure certain things are in place as the year goes on. And then once the new year hits, I would say that's when it really starts. But when you've got the framework in place and you're really repeating a lot of it, how the t-shirts are made or how this, it tends to just start going a little bit easier year after year. But as I said, we keep adding new things. If I would just stop doing that, it would be a lot easier, trust me. But people get excited by everything that we're adding. And I think people are very motivated. I think we're having an impact. We do a research study after our event with the walkers, and we ask them to take a survey. Did they change their behavior? Did they feel inspired to change their behaviors? So forth and so on. And our results, they're not statistically significant, so I don't like spouting them. I have been trained in research not to do that. But gosh, just the soft sounding of, when 50 people respond, it's really inspiring. So we can see, our volunteers can see the changes. There's a lot of chatter about what we're trying to do, and it's very motivating to them. But yeah, say January to April are for the person organizing. My volunteers, we've had one meeting, and then they'll meet in February and a couple times in March. And then we're off to the races on walk day. It's pretty much individual Zoom calls amongst themselves and so forth. But you have to be super organized if you're going to do something like this. No doubt.
We have another question from Kelly, and then we can spend a few minutes on your website, Julie. Then we'll come back to questions.
Good.
Number one.
Okay.
So, Kelly, go ahead.
So this is just a logistics question. Do you have to have insurance for this event?
We do. We get standard event insurance. It's, I think it's $1 million indemnity personal, and then $2 million aggregate. And yes, you absolutely have to. We also make people sign a waiver. So when you go through our registration process, they have to sign a waiver. When we started, we brought one of our volunteers. We were a little lucky on this point. She ran an insurance company that did this sort of thing, not necessarily for a dog walk, but knew how to help us write waivers and obtain insurance policies. For my policy, it's about $450. So it's not a break the bank kind of thing, but it's important to go through the steps. We've never, and I'm sure the folks down in Richmond haven't either. For some reason, when you get a lot of dogs together, we've never had one single dog fight, dog bite, dog anything. The big dogs think they are too cool, and the little dogs think they're big dogs, and they're all strutting their stuff because they're so proud to be out there. They all just kind of stay to themselves and do their thing in the walk. It's pretty remarkable to watch. But yes, we do have insurance. Long way of answering that.
Thank you. We'd love to see your website. We have a few minutes
Right.
left.
All right. So let's see here. Gosh, I hope I don't lose you. And if I do, I promise to come right back on. Okie dokie. Let's go. Okay. Can everyone still see me?
Yes, we can. And I just put a link to your website in the chat as well.
Okay. Is that too loud for you guys? I'm not sure if I can turn that off. All right. Can you still hear me, Joe?
Yeah, I don't think the sound from the website is coming through on my end.
Oh, boy.
I mean, we can hear you, just not the video from the website. So it'd be okay.
All right. So if you watch this video, if you go to the website and you watch this video right here, you're going to see everything that I've told you about. Are you still with me? Sorry.
Yes, we are.
Okay, thank you. So up here, when you look at our community tabs, This is where we have just various educational resources. Our plastic-free event toolkit is on there and a number of other things. We also have the tabs of the various elements of our dog walk. So here you see the Sustainability Festival. Last year we collaborated with a group called Sustainability Matters. That's big in Northern Virginia. And I'm sure all of you know the Plastic Pollution Coalition. We've done a lot with them over time. And this is a little philosophy about ours about why we think grassroots micro marketers of the topic are needed. This is generally how the park is laid out, just to give you a sense. We probably have 85 tents and tables out there. Here's the Spring to Action Nonprofit Village page. These are all the nonprofits that came out last year and hosted tents. Every year we have a doggy outreach pack that the community nominates and they vote in, and the leading dog is on all of our posters and our promotion materials. We really work this angle as much as possible. This was our plastic art show competition from last year, and these were the extraordinary pieces. I can't even say enough. This dress was made of bottle caps and little metal hooks and a matching necklace, and you can't really even see this, but this was just an extraordinary piece right there. We of course have the walker registration on site. If you were to click here, you'd hear, well, I'll click it. Okay, that's the public service announcement by WTOP. And this is going to take you over to the AWLA's registration page for the team registration page. And we use an early discount code for January. So it's a pretty, we have a very simple website. Let me get us back to our homepage real fast. It lists everything. It goes into a little bit of detail about everything. And we talk about our collaboration. We talk about our special guests and MCs. And we feature our sponsors, give people a little idea of what the park will look like, and just have fun with photos on it. The one thing I'll say about our dog bandana, somebody asked me, and I'm sorry I didn't answer it. We partner with a store called 10,000 Villages. This is the only thing we do like this because it costs money to do this. 10,000 Villages is a fair trade store, and everything in their store is sustainably made. And we purchase our dog bandanas with them. We each chip in to purchase bandanas that are handmade by a village in Ghana, by a company of women who are promoting economic independence for women. And they literally sew these dog bandanas, dye them organically, stamp them with dog paws. Last year they had not stickers, but little tags on each bandana. And each woman who made each bandana personally hand signed the tag. It was extraordinary. But that is just one element, because we want to support fair trade and all the wonderful things that come along with it. We just can't afford to do more than that at the moment. But this is just a special aspect of our giveaways.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Julie. Are there any other questions? Can we give a virtual round of applause for Julie Chapman?
Julie, that was really awesome. Thank you so much. Very
My
very
pleasure.
inspiring, and also just in awe that this is volunteer based. Like, way to go. Kudos to all of your volunteers. Very inspirational.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I wish they were here to listen too, but I'll pass it on.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Oh, I just had one more quick question. This is kind of a random question, but so this is April Bain. I work with the Virginia Coastal Zone Management Program, and I'm helping out a little bit on the marine debris reduction plan. But are there bags, like poop bags, that are not plastic, that are out there that you can buy and use? I was just thinking about that. I was like, there's got to be, but I don't know where they are, where you find them. I guess online, I'm sure, but I don't know the company or anything. Do y'all support that and promote that at your festival?
Oh boy, yeah, it's a great question. We get asked it all the time. There's so many different brands that are biodegradable or compostable and so forth. We
Okay.
follow the cities. They donate rolls. We give everybody a roll of bags when they come to the event. It's in their goodie bag. There's lots of brands out there. So that's kind of as far as that has gone. And there is one for us. There's one company that is out in Annapolis that's created a paper-like bag, and it twists at the top. I can't think of the name of it. And it's not something that I was encouraged to use in the city of Alexandria. You know how all of our municipalities have different rules and regulations and processes, and for the reason that it doesn't secure enough at the top, it was encouraged that I just continue to give out the bags that we're giving out. But there isn't a really perfect answer to this yet.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. I knew something had to be out there. I just hadn't seen it or found it yet.
I'm sure you'll find the brands online, but it's tricky. It's just such a tricky field.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Julie. I've used Pooch paper before, which might be the brand you're talking about. That's the only one I've seen, but I believe they went out of business, unfortunately.
Oh, that was the brand I was talking about. Okay.
Yeah. My dog's only 11.5 pounds, so he has, despite how much he eats, his poops are pretty small. So I can use the Pooch paper, and I get asked that question a lot as well. And I do recommend, even though you're not actually composting the poop and the poop bags, if you use the compostable poop bags, they're made from plants instead of fossil fuels. So at least it's a step in the right direction. It's all going to go to the landfill. And I don't think the commercial composters are composting dog poop at this time. I also tell people there is an underground dog poop composting contraption that you can put in your yard. I'm not going there. Some people might. I just don't have a big enough yard. But yeah. But yeah, there's probably not a whole lot of yards that want to handle that in Alexandria either, but it does exist. And yeah, it's a really difficult, because you have to pick it up or you're causing pollution. But 99% of the time it's being picked up in plastic. Whether it's the compostable or the regular plastic, that's the best way to get rid of it. So it's definitely a conundrum. I appreciate it.
Maybe one day when these companies who are making all this great seaweed material can get into the dog bag business one day.
Yeah, and you have to watch the compostable bags, because if they sit around too long, you may find yourself in a big hand going right through the bag as you're picking things up. So yeah, be careful of that too.
Well, this conversation has devolved.
Yeah, it's just gone way downhill. But it's a great question, and I do get asked that question a lot, and it's a frustrating question to try to answer. So I feel you. And I also wanted to say I appreciate your use of 10,000 Villages and fair trade. I ran a fair trade ran a fair trade festival in Norfolk for a lot of years. So that's amazing. What a great idea.
Such a great cause. People just need to learn more about it.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here. It's really been a great talk. Thank you.
Pleasure. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you for having me.
Thank you again. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your week.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Good luck with everything.